We're on. Woo! What's going on?
Woo!
Hey, this is Big George. He's been training here for a while. You might have seen a couple videos. He's been looking around at this gel thing, and he said, you know what? I'm finally ready to try it out. You know, I'm not sleeping great, so he's going to try it out. He got a 4-pack, and I want to show people how to open up the bottles because they're sort of crappy bottles. So here's the 4-pack, and the reason why I say crappy bottles is this multi-level marketing company is only 10 months old.
Yep.
So we're going through growing pains. And we are the fastest growing multi-level marketing company in the history of multi-level marketing companies. So with that being said, there's some growing pains. And the CEO, Alex Goldstein, has promised that the second version of the pump, this vacuum, that's shrink wrapped in no plastic at all, that's very quality, is right around the corner in 1 month.
High quality.
With that being said, it's a little hard to get these going in the beginning. So you just take some scissors. The plastic that they wrap these with is... you know, it's just cheap, you know. So George, while I do this, and then we show people how to open up the first bottle, I'm excited to talk about the conversation we had during your workout, and that is why maybe this doesn't work for 5 to 10% of the people. And I have 135 people in my direct downline that are distributors now, and my direct upline, Ben Quigley, has 600, and I have a friend, Brian Mara from Philadelphia, has 4,000.
Yeah.
Okay, and out of all the people in my distributorship, only one person said that it didn't work for me in 1 month. And 1 month is not a long trial.
Right.
But he had negative energy towards this product in the very beginning when he was considering taking it. And I told George that because he was asking before he invested the money in 4 bottles, you know, how many people have gotten better sleep, better libido, better mood. And I said, out of my 135, everyone except one. And that guy had a negative attitude in the very beginning, and George explained something to me that I had never, I sort of understood a little bit, but George, go and tell them why a negative person will not have chances of not feeling the effects from this because of this being a homeopathic delivery system, and part of that homeopathic delivery system is the dilution amount of the somatropin is so low, there's actually none in there, but there's the vibrations of that somatropin in there, correct?
Well, it's the energy and it's the essence and what that does. And I've learned a lot about homeopathy because my wife introduced it to me 25 years ago, and she used it with our kids. And I'm like a Western medicine person, and so I'm like, I don't believe in this crap. It's witch doctory, whatever you want to call it. It's voodoo. I used to make fun of her. And then I saw it work with my kids. I saw my kids didn't need to be vaccinated. They didn't have... 4 of my 5 kids have never had any type of a drug in their life because they've been treated with homeopathics. The idea is you get the energy of the ingredient. There is HCH, it's just at a very small level. That's purposeful. It's not to not have it. It's because it wants to trigger the production in your body. And that's exactly what it does. I've talked to so many people that I respect that are clients of Darin's that I see come in here and that are working hard. Darin's mother, who recovered so wonderfully with this stuff from such a terrible bout with cancer. So I've seen it work, and even though I'm heavier and it's harder for HGH to work when there's a lot of fat content in a body, I'm going with it anyway. I think it give me a boost. I've been on human growth hormone in my life, so I have a lot of experience in this area. But the whole idea that you were interested in, the energy and the essence. So this works on energy. Right? It's the energy of the somatropin. It triggers it in the body to produce more HGH. If you have a negative energy working against that, it makes it that much harder.
And so the guy that has the negative thinking process, that sends out a vibration. I know this is woo-woo for some people, but that negative tone sends out, that thought sends out the negative vibration, and that messes up the vibration of the somatropin in the homeopathic gel, and it's transferred in water. And water transfers vibrations the easiest, I believe.
Incredibly.
And me and Fush were just talking about Dr. Imado from Japan, who played dark death music over water and then froze them, and the crystals were ugly and dark, versus singing praise and love into the water and then freezing them, and they were beautiful crystals.
Like snowflake art.
Water takes the vibration of the giver of the vibration, right? It's just a medium. So, all right, I got the plastic off finally. Now, you're supposed to push down and counterclockwise, the plunger pops up, just popped up. If it doesn't, there's a little white ring here. you have to hold it with some pliers and then turn it counterclockwise, and then it will pop up. So that's the one point that I wanted to make. So I know it's a pain in the butt, and so before I even pump it, we'll just bring it out like this, and we'll just stir it around a little bit, and now we should be able to get some air out there and just pump the Fuchsia's first serving. So we're going to teach you how to apply it as well. So just put your fingers up there so they can see it, Fuchsia. Just 2 fingers. So I'm pumping some air out. All right, so that's about 1 pump. Okay, so 1 full pump. Now take your left hand. Why don't you stand up, or I'll just bring this closer. You can stay there. So now our prime absorption spot is the forearm on the underside. The skin is thinner there, but spend half the time above the elbow, because this skin under here, the skin on the outside's been weathered, it's been sunburned, things have been rubbing on it, it's more calloused. Whereas the skin on the inside is more thin. Now, do me a favor and try next time just to use the 2 fingers. Not that your hands.
Oh, gotcha.
Not that your hands are going to absorb. 2 fingers, and what you want to do is you want to take your time. It's going to take about 2 minutes, and you want to. So there's 2 or 3 carriers that Dr. Goldstein put in here that will absolutely push the big somatropin molecule through the skin. That's a given. But you can push more through the skin if you take your time with 2 fingers and you rub it in until the skin's dry and warm, and it just pushes all of it in through the skin, versus if you stop when it's wet, some of it's going to evaporate in the air. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.
So Fuchsia's going to do a loading phase, 3 applications, morning, noon, and night, 1 full squirt. I know it's not dry yet. You got to rub it in more, dude.
Wow.
Until it's dry, and it gets sticky. So when that skin gets warm, just think about pushing it through. Now I know this seems maybe overboard to some people just starting out, but when I started taking this, I was depressed. I wasn't sleeping. I didn't have a libido, and my general feeling of anxiety was sky high, and my feelings about my future was dreary. Okay, so in a week I pulled out of that. So when you pull out of something like that with a product, you don't want to waste any of it.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? So I know it seemed like I'm going overboard with the proper application. Rub it in more, dude. It's still wet. Yeah. You want it dry. Just go to town, man. Just get it in there. Spend a lot of time above the elbow. That skin is the thinnest. So that's 1 full pump, 1 application. This was his first one. So he'll do it tonight before he goes to bed, and then he'll do it on the other arm. Just alternate. So next time, go to your right hand, and then go to this alternate every time. So morning, noon, and night. A couple other areas of application are right here on the top of the hand, and since you got on these 2 fingers, then right behind the knee. So I put half of it here and half of it here. Once in a while you can do that, and then of course you have this hand and underneath the other knee. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's pretty good. How to open the bottle up and how to get your first application on, how to alternate. Women, maybe a half a dose, a half a pump, half to 3/4 of a pump, morning, noon, and night, same thing. And I'd like to back up, since this is Fuchsia.
How long for the loading phase? 1 week?
No. We personalize it. So I stay in touch with the people, and we see how they're feeling. If they're not getting the desired results, we stay a little bit longer. But in general, everyone's different. Everything should be personalized, just like personal training, but 1 or 2 months.
Okay.
Usually of the loading phase. Okay? And so this is Fuchsia's sort of coming out party on the job.
All right, take it easy.
But also I want to back up and say, you said I took growth hormone in the past. Tell me a little bit why. He was a football player. He was wanting to get big and strong and make the NFL.
I want to gain an advantage, and so I took human growth hormone
and steroids.
Anabolic steroids, to get stronger, get bigger, get faster. I didn't have quite the athletic ability, and so I needed to be as strong and as fast as I could be. And so I took HGH and had explosive results.
So it works, but now this is about getting stronger on the stage of life.
Right.
For George to sleep better, to run his businesses better, to be a father better, and to optimize your health and energy and productivity.
Right.
That's
Sleep,
where we're at now.
Productive energy, focus, and for me to have to take shots twice a day, spend $4,000 a month.
$4,000 a month.
It doesn't make sense, and there are some risks. With the dosages, high dosages of HGH that I need, there are some risks that go along with that you don't have with this.
All right, let's wrap it up. A half a minute to a minute. Tell them why you believe in homeopathic medicine, maybe some people that don't understand it are like skeptical?
You know, again, I mean, I was very skeptical because my wife wanted to do it with my children, homeopathic medicine, and I had been raised with Western medicine, and I knew that was way that you could handle things, but with stomach aches, with headaches, with flus, with chicken pox, I've seen again and again treated with homeopathic medicine. Those not only symptoms go away, but the condition goes away much faster, much easier. You're treating the energy that caused this thing to occur, and it helps to get rid of the undesired effect.
Cool. And the proof's in the pudding. You didn't believe in it at first, but what'd you say about your kids? No vaccines and no drugs?
No vaccines, no drugs,
What?
no medication.
Tell me how many kids you got and how old
5
they are.
kids.
5 kids.
23 down to 13 years old.
No vaccine, no meds.
No vaccine.
I mean, if
no
that's
meds.
not proof in the pudding, then shoot me.
No, that's 5 kids.
Hey, if you got any comments or questions, just comment below. If you want to share this video to someone who you think it might inspire to go towards being a healthy version of themselves, we'd appreciate that. And we'll do maybe every week or so, we'll do a recap on anything that you're feeling with it.
One love.
Peace.